All right. So we've started the stream, but we still have nothing to stream. I've got to go and get the movie. Hello, everybody. Brooke Waters from Stickman Media with Sergi. We're actually going to be talking about Sergi's texturing of our grenade launcher. So I'm just going to go and grab that movie. Sergi can, I don't know, juggle or something.
Okay. Waiting.
Give him a bit of background on it, Sergi.
Background. Well, the grenade launcher was, or is, because it's not yet finished. Today will be completely finished, but is an interesting weapon to model and texturize. For me, the second most interesting because I really love the pistol. But yeah, quite challenging. We have been working close with Lincoln to match the concept with the 3D model because there were some small issues to address for the 3D model that were important to keep in mind. But yeah, the overall experience has been, as always, very nice and straightforward.
Excellent. All right, let's launch your movie.
Sorry if I start coughing, but
That's all right.
I'll try not
Let's
to.
see. What's your name again? Sergi, right?
Yeah, no,
Cool.
it's Linda.
Voila, there we go, at 4 times the speed. All right.
Well, as always, when I import the model into Substance, I try to bake the ambient occlusion and other utility maps, so we can already see that the occlusion map is already applied for this model, so it was previously baked. There are other maps that have been baked as well, like the curvature and thickness. This is just some kind of utility maps that goes pretty well for the generators inside Substance. But yeah, what I'm starting here is basically just using a base metal for the metal parts. So yeah, I just applying a smart material that I think it could fit, and after that I start modifying that material and tweaking and refining, and yeah, that's the main process. I'm in this case what I'm using is the polygon fill tool inside Substance, so I can just grab some faces, in this case triangles, that I am just masking for the details that the grenade launcher has, like this kind of golden metal ring around the barrel. So yeah, I'm using polygon fill for masking. It's a very powerful feature. So yeah, this is what I'm doing. Sometimes there's a face that I click by mistake. And yeah, that's it. This is pretty nice when you have a topology that works pretty well with the shapes and everything, so it's quite straightforward. So in this case, for example, this is not like this because this is just a single sphere with not too many divisions in this radius. So I had to use a manual mask, painting mask, for masking this part because this is a golden part as well for the grenade launcher. I'm getting some help with the 2D map directly. It's quite easier sometimes just to use a 2D map like if you should be working in Photoshop. This is something similar, but using the 2D view in Substance, so you can see all the PBR materials applied, and you can switch between channels, color, or roughness, or whatever you need. In this case, I'm using just the general shading because I only need to get rid of this, but I need the normal information to see exactly where where is this circle, because as I said, there is no geometry almost.
Yeah.
So this is just normal mapping. So I had to, I needed reference to clean this up correctly. So yeah, this is a masking process. This is something very common in Substance, using with fill layers, masking fill layers, generators, painting, and sometimes, but depending on the art style and the project you are involved, you will be painting more or less. For this project, I tend to have some painting, but not too much, because of the realistic nature of the models. It's much easier or better to use procedural materials for this. So yes, I'm just refining the circle and trying to just not filling all the possible gaps I find.
So how close do you think you came to the concept?
Pretty close, actually. The only thing is that with the concept, there were some small issues that translated from 2D to 3D were difficult to accomplish. One of them was this cylindrical thing big that it has.
Yep.
With the cylinders behind, it was difficult to align correctly as in the concept. So it was basically it was physically impossible to align like in the concept.
Okay. So
I was speaking close to Lincoln to see what can we do about this, and so finally the idea was just to make the cylinders like stick together and completely blended between them, so there are no gaps in the middle, so they look like something like a gun. So
yeah.
But doing the other way, we had the problem that the gaps were irregular between the different cylinders, so we needed to fill all those gaps, and it was like quite difficult because of this piece. This is a masterpiece. No, sorry. No, it's a yeah. This was made. This part, I'm just painting the squares. It's pretty similar to the crossbow concept.
Yeah.
The crossbow had something very similar that Lincoln did in the concept. So for this, I used ZBrush to get the radial symmetry perfect aligned to all the model. It's a normal map, of course. It's not the model. This model is pretty simple. I mean the circular one. But for the exterior shapes, yes.
Sweet Hendrik has joined us.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, that's this cylindrical thing. The big one was a high resolution mesh was made from Maya, and then a secondary one was made in ZBrush for making these squares, these little squares.
Okay.
So yeah, here is I'm starting painting this because, as I said, this is not something I can use the polygon fill tool and grab the faces because there are no faces. It's so I had to paint manually all those gaps. So now we can just sit and relax and see how I paint the windows.
Oh wow! So geometry would have been a time saver there.
yeah, but maybe Unreal didn't like it too much. No, yes, geometry always helps because you can just grab the faces and then use a tool here and it would be much easier. But in this case, it's a very simple model with tons of shading to make it look like it looks.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and the 2D view was quite tricky in this case because it uses all the maps in this view. So sometimes I get no lighting in the bottom part of the model. So it's quite difficult in the 2D view to see in complete darkness.
Yeah.
But this is not something you can fix because Substance you cannot add any kind of light source.
Yeah.
So you can just use the HDRI environment. You rely on that, so you cannot do anything else. So it's for more I can rotate the main light. It's just rotating the background. So floor will be always on the bottoms. No, that doesn't change anything. Something that it could be very cool that they could add some kind of light sources that we could put in the scene, but like marmoset. But okay, that's fine. So yes, this is the process.
Can we turn that drum?
Can we what?
Does that drum turn?
Yes.
Cool.
For the final animation, all the drum. Each time you shoot one of these big bullets, the drum will rotate one slot.
Okay.
So yeah, that will be done. But we can see this is the bottom part because it's darker than
Yeah.
the other one. And if I switch to a base color that is completely flat and with no lighting, the problem is that I don't see the normal map.
Yeah.
So I don't know when I am painting. So I need to see all of those gaps and I see exactly where the detail is to be able to mask it properly. So yeah, just I put just some small mark to know where I am and just keep painting in here. Yeah. This is just a little bit tedious, even to make and watch, but yeah, it's part of the texture process. Is always
Okay.
chill out music and
You could have cheated and copied and pasted some over the top of the others.
yeah, but no, but that's it. That's it.
The top over the bottom, we'd have never noticed.
That would be great, but you cannot do that. You don't have a cursor to like in Photoshop.
All right.
You have to mask like in the old days, like a brave man, just doing that by the hard way. But yeah, it's almost done. I think there is maybe another one on top of the UV map. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, there are more. Okay. There it is. As you can see, I have to look where is it exactly. So, because the layout was obviously made automatically in this case, and
How many sections to that thing? This will be number 3, and I think I saw another one off to the left, which would make it
I
4.
think it's 4 or 5.
Okay.
Because it's remember that I say that I don't like very big UV islands, so I prefer to cut in different chunks.
Yeah.
So yes, the thing is that the layout was made in an automatic algorithm, so Maya just put everything where it wanted to put it. So I didn't care about that because Maya makes the layouts pretty well.
So the thing for me, as a novice, I'm watching this stuff being built with essentially what looks like different lighting on each bit. So how will that react with the real world lighting when you've got it, the drum actually turns and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, the thing is that is what I was saying. The lighting is we don't have lighting in the floor, so that's the reason we see this like darker.
Yeah.
Because I am painting the bottom part, but just imagine that when this rotates, lighting will hit correctly to the model, so it will be seen correctly. But the problem for this is that I'm working the bottom part, and Substance only use the background as a lighting reference, nothing else. It doesn't have any point light that I can add on the bottom, and then I can see what I'm doing. So I have to guess what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This will not be a problem if I am only painting base color, because I go to the 2D map and the base color is unlit.
Yeah.
So I can see everything fine, but in this case I need to see the normal map, because with no normal map I don't see these things.
Yeah. I'm just amazed that it's going to work out all right when it turns and the light hits it, that it's actually going to look like the current ones do on top.
Yeah, it will look fine because this is just lighting. It's not anything baked in the model.
Okay.
It has an occlusion map, but occlusion doesn't hit on the bottom, because that's direct lighting anyway. There is not anything occluding that. So yeah, that was finished, and I'm starting to add more detail to the metal parts and breaking the light and adding more normal information, well, height information.
Breaking the light.
Breaking the light.
I love that expression.
Yeah, me too. I learned it sometimes ago. The same people from Substance say this sentence, so start breaking the light. So yeah, I really like it, so I just keep it for me.
And that's where all the artistic detail is, isn't it, in breaking the light?
Yeah. So yes, this is maybe starting to make some weird layer mask to start giving some history to this weapon. And you know, it's an old weapon, heavily used. It killed lots of people and not living people as well. So
yeah,
it's
been to war. It's done its thing. So the Swinger Henry says the normals tell it how the light should behave.
Sorry, what?
The normals tell it how
Exactly.
the light should behave. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, this is just that's adding a weird mask. There are two masks of this kind, but the first one is the one that I use to give the edges, some weird edges, and the other one is more grungy that I use for the rest of the metal.
Yeah, because usually the edges would be polished by wear, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So I just try to.
But all the flat areas would have grime from wear. They'll have little channels that dirt fills in and corrosion fills in.
Exactly. So yes, it's like masking everything to make a little bit by hand, and obviously you can do it with a generator and the curvature map that handles these kind of things, but I really like to have some degree of manual polishing. So yes, now I think I'm using more another. I think this is for the second one. I'm using an alpha to cover and what I said, break more the lighting, so it starts to look like an old metal and with some background, some history.
I like when it went white. It looked like it was porcelain or something.
Yeah, but extremely white maybe, but yes. And after this, I don't know if I think it was recorded, but if not, there is another mask for the metal that it just scratches and things like that. If someone with a knife scratches the surface, I added some details like that. So yeah, there are different. I think this is the weapon that more detail layers has. I think.
Yeah.
Because the cylinders is something very big that you can see in front of you at any time. It was quite important to give that feeling of detail to the viewer.
Well, that was a masterful looking, tightly packed texture that we were just looking at. That thing.
Yeah, I hear well the same problem always with the bottom parts, that lighting is not getting the floor, so it's quite difficult to paint into the map. But yeah, in this case it's just the back. This is currently light, but yeah, it's darker. But yeah, just polishing this part and adding some old thing, rustiness and weird, whatever, and make it. And I switched to 3D just to blend everything correctly, and that the surface looks even and not just cleaning other parts from here that they don't need this kind of mask like this. As you can see, I'm trying to move the light and be able to see it, but the thing is that you can move the light, but the bottom parts will be darker, so that doesn't matter. So, but yeah. So this model was something similar to the pistol. Half of the model is baked in with normal maps, and half of the model is using width and normals directly.
Okay.
So yeah, something similar to the pistol. Pistol? Yes, the pistol had normal maps. The crossbow did not have any normal map. I'm sorry. Yes, there was one. This kind of cubes, like the windows.
Yeah.
That was the only normal map I used for the crossbow. But for this one we have this part, the front part, it's normal map. There is the grip, it's normal map. What else? A couple of the cylinders have a normal map, and something else. Can't remember now.
I'm just going to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
So keep talking.
Okay. I can watch this as well. If someone says something.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's it. Basically, is starting with a base. Just break the model and in different parts. For example, what's the metal parts of the model? That metal part will be the same for that part of the model or not. I mean, you have to break that in your mind, and when you have it, you can start making all the layers, groups, and everything. Well, it's much easier, at least for me, to think like this than just start painting and let's see what happens. That's not a bad thing anyway. I really like the improvisation. Sometimes with improvisation, the good things, the very good things come, but for this case I think I prefer to break everything a little bit and be clear in what I want to do, and yeah, and try to imitate the concept as best as possible, even with the constraints that we had with this model, because of the physical space that it's not. When you do it in 3D, you can see things that are not possible when it's made in 2D. That's normal. So that's when we have to change our mind and redo some of those parts and make it more real life possible. So at least that it doesn't break the physics, the law of physics. So yeah, I think I'm using more masks here and just cleaning more the metal and well, just playing with this. We can see that I'm using the base color. This is one example of what I was saying before. In this case, for the 2D map, I was using only the color information, so it's unlit. I can see perfectly everything what I do. But in the other case, when I was seeing that it was darker, I had to use that shading because I needed the normal map to see what I was painting. But not in this case, as we have seen that I was using only the base color.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, here we can see as well that I painted the canister a little bit with the rings. That's one of the pieces that I baked normal map as well for the canister, so it has those kind of rings around. Obviously that cylinder is a little bit dense in geometry, not extremely dense, but some dense that you can be able to see the gun correctly when you're holding like this.
Mm-hmm.
and you see the canister. At the moment, you can perfectly see the rings in the canister.
Yep.
If we had more or less polygons in that canister, the problem is that we should see something like this.
Yeah.
We should have to avoid that in the normal maps if we want to show that detail.
This is
in
where
the
you
model.
use your weighted normals.
No. I use normal maps.
Normal
I just had to give some more divisions to the cylinder for that, but only in one direction. The other direction is not needed because of how it's projected. So I'm using this kind of decals for normal decals to make this detail in the grenade launcher.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the details that has the concept. It's like a small bumping in the cylinders. So I'm just roughing, just make a rough approximation about how I want it. So there are lots of. I think in this video there are even some experiments I made that I just discarded later. So like this. Just was trying, see if that looks nice or not. I didn't like it, so it's not there. But yes, it's what I was saying. Sometimes improvisation gives the most the most beautiful results. But sometimes improvisation can lead to a very bad thing. So yeah, it's a lottery. So it depends about how it goes. In this case, this is the original one from the concept that it has this line crossing the cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I stopped experimenting here, I think, but there are other parts that maybe I just try and that's it.
Okay.
And any feedback? No.
No.
No feedback.
No, you're obviously telling a good story there.
Good story.
No questions. Either that or the sweet Henrik has gone off for another sandwich.
Or maybe he just fell asleep, I suppose.
Well, actually, yeah, it's very late there, isn't it?
Yeah, so yes, it says this video has some of these kind of repetitions because trying to paint this is the mask directly, so it's just painting and that's it. Yeah, playing with different roughness values and yeah, just playing with that. I am applying a blur filter to this normal decal, so I can just give this feeling that blending much better with the original shape.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, and just experimenting, adding some color and changing some parameters, but at the end it is just the decal, the normal decal, and that's it. It doesn't have any kind of color and anything, just the normal information and the blur filter applied on top, and yeah, more or less that's it. I added a general dirt layer that I always like to add in the middle of the process, because this makes me
A grime layer.
yes, dirt, grime, yeah, grunge, everything. For me, everything is the same.
Yeah. No, I wasn't disagreeing. It just
Yeah, yes. It's like adding shit, basically.
grungy and grimy.
Yeah.
Make it bad enough, nobody's even going to want to pick that up.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I see exactly. So it helps me a lot to see the aging of the model and, you know, the background story of the model and things like that. This is another experimenting thing. Just experimenting and see, because one of the things that I added at the beginning was some kind of screws around this,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end didn't like the screws, I think we will see that. And I even use the anchor points in Substance to give the grim and everything to those models, not models, to those decals, but I just deleted it later. I didn't like, and change it for something else that we will see at the end.
Yeah.
Here is the thing I was saying. It's this kind of screws that even I used anchor points. Anchor point is an information that you give to a specific layer with height or normal information, that you will use this anchor point to say to another layer, hey, put grind, grunge, or everything to this part of the model.
Yeah.
It's something like that. So it's a very cool feature that Substance has since maybe a couple or 3 versions ago. But yeah, I just discarded this, so it doesn't matter.
Well, they're nice looking screws.
Yeah, they
I
look
guess they
really
went
nice.
away.
This is the kind of screw that you look and you say, oh, it's a nice screw.
Yeah.
I don't know if it fits correct there. But that's the problem that I had with this, because I really like the shape, but I was not quite sure that maybe you could have this kind of screw in that plate or in that thing.
I don't know realistically whether when the Phillips head screw came along.
So yeah, but it was like half love, half hate.
Yeah.
Finally the hate won,
So it had to go.
yeah, I just got rid of this. It was sad and lots of tears, but we both agreed that it was better for us this way. So yeah, this is the anchor point, I think, more or less, because I had all this thing masked, so there was some manual tweaking for this, obviously. But anyway, these no longer exist, so
These no longer exist?
the screws.
Oh, right, yes, because they're gone.
There you go, yeah, I did say right. I just
Yep, you did say. I'm just getting a bit dozy again in this bloody chair.
yes.
What is it about streaming that makes somebody dozy?
Dozy is just
Sleepy, yeah.
Sleepy. Right. Yeah. It's comfortable. The chair is-
They are comfortable
Yeah,
chairs.
we will have
Aye,
to-
they're nice.
we will have to change this chair as well and put it.
Yeah, I guess we won't have these chairs much longer.
Oh yeah. It's a shame. They are nice.
Yep, going to a lot of trouble for something that's just going to get thrown away.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's like this is the love part. So there was lots of love,
Yeah.
but not love enough at the end. So I think they are gone now, maybe. But it was a hard breakup, so that's the reason I didn't show it on screen. It's too harmful. You know what I mean?
Yes. I want to go back and revisit the moment, get all...
Yeah, it's not suitable for all the audiences.
all upset and moist-eyed over the loss of the screws.
Yeah. I think they are not there.
Yep, they seem to be gone. No, well, that's the breakup complete.
Yeah, it was. You have
Unless
to,
you go driving past their house to see if they're seeing someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. We both have to overcome it. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, this is. Oh, there's the canister and the shiny copper thing. Very shiny, this one.
Yeah.
Yes, it's copper. It's as it is. So it's a modified copper that I used, and added some more grunge and things like that. This is a mask I use for this part of the canister. So I'm just masking the gaps between the rings.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we can get some more contrast in the model like this, so it's much better now. It looks
Right,
We
which is
can
exactly
see-
the look you get if somebody tried to polish that gun, but in all the cracks there'd be grunge.
yes. So and then we can see the difference and some kind of gaps. So yes, and cleaning more the dirt layer or dirt or grunge or eso, that's it. What else? I'm doing more layers for something. Changing. I'm using some more decals here for first. I start experimenting, and then after this, I make some kind of hulls, like in the ship that has its hulls or hulls.
Walls?
Hulls. No, not bulls. Hull in like
Oh, the hull.
hull.
Hull, okay.
Okay, that's it. So I'm doing the hulls, and yeah,
I'm still not sure I understand it.
HULL.
Yeah, that's the hull of the ship. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just when you. Well, not when you just when you see a ship and you can see the crevices or
Mhm.
things like that. That's it. I think it's clear now. But if you want, I can add a wool if you want.
Yeah, wool would make perfect sense.
That's very Spanish.
So what have you guys done today? Ooh. What have we done today?
Well, for me, I'm finishing this model because it was not yet finished, needed final tweaks, and implementing it on Unreal. So to just give it to Linda and start doing her rigging magic.
And I'm playing around with Bluetooth on the client project, so not much to do with this at all. So this is my first thing touching this project today, is this stream. So what do you think of the all-day streaming this week, Henrik? How's that working out for you? And wait for him to respond. He likes it. Very good. So would you like to see some more modelling and texturing done that way, as all-day streams?
You can watch me. I don't know.
Can watch you on this, yeah.
Yeah. That's cheating.
No, not the modelling and texturing. So just the animating, basically. Oh, he put it in quotes.
In quotes, no.
He's just trying to support you.
So this is another detail of the canister. It
Yeah.
has a black part that it's like going inside this. Well, I will not see what this reminds me, but you know. Have you seen Austin Powers number
Yes.
3? Okay, the subtitle. It's gold member. The copper member, maybe.
Got it because of some sort of smelting accident.
Yeah. That's
now,
it.
okay, now I can't see anything else.
No?
It's a big copper member. Okay, the Sweet Henrik says he enjoys all parts of game dev, so he doesn't mind if it's modelling or animations. So cool.
Okay.
All right. So there we go. I think you're going to be doing some.
We'll do something.
Yeah. I really like the whole format of it live, and it does seem to get engagement from people. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's always positive.
Yeah. And may even be more enjoyable because you get to talk to people as you're doing the work.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it'll work with the coders though. I think people actually writing the code and talking.
They should have. I think they should have.
I think the talking will distract them.
No, but yeah.
But we should have a go. We should
Yeah,
have a
of
go,
course.
especially when it's scene building or something like that. We should actually have a go and see how the programmers do. I have seen a few streams where people are doing it. They're both because I think the one I saw was, or one particular one I saw was in Unity. So you got to see the guy building the scene and making and programming and then playing the result. So with those short sort of generate and test cycles, that worked quite well.
Absolutely.
So that was actually that's a really nice effect. Did you keep that, or did that one go?
Yeah. This is part of the model.
Right.
So yeah, it was a strange thing. I was thinking in making this in a high poly model and bake the normal map, but then I thought, well, I will try with height maps only, and that's what I did. So yeah, it's I don't know what is it, but yeah, it's it works. It breaks the feeling about the Austin Powers thing. Just a little bit.
Got some black and gold bands on his member.
Yeah. Here we can see the hulls much better. Because for me, a hull is a corridor. Not a corridor. No, it's like something similar, right, to a corridor. A hull, HALL.
Well, the hull for me is really the thing that wraps something. So the hull of a ship is sort of wrapping the contents of the ship. A convex hull in mathematics is when you wrap a shape to actually,
Okay.
So for me, it's that sort of thing. So not quite the corridor, but the thing that sort of surrounds the corridor.
Yeah, something like that, maybe. Yeah. Yes. This is another group for metal. This is the metal for the hammer, the trigger, that thing. So yes, it's similar to the rest of the metal, but lighter. It's not as dark as that. But anyway, here we can see it's a very light gray thing, but later on it will get darker. Because when seeing the concept again, I realized that it was very dark anyway. And what I'm doing here is just painting some more grungy thingy and just staining the thing.
So the Sweet Henrik heard hall instead of hull, and so he's thinking of a hall as a corridor.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was saying.
So you were thinking hall corridor.
Yeah.
I was thinking hull like the ship.
No, yes. At the beginning when I was saying hull is that thing about the ship. But then after that the pronunciation is really quite similar between one word and the other. So I was thinking that when I was talking about hulls, I was thinking in corridors. So because of my pronunciation, that's it. So yeah, it's a very similar word to me.
So you and I don't understand each other at
No,
all.
no, not at all. Well, the Austin Powers was correct for what? It was close enough anyway.
Yeah. You and I having two very different conversations and we don't even realise it.
Are you sure you're hiding me? So yeah,
some nice decaling going on there.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this part because there was a lot of decals and things like that, screws, and it was a very rounded shape using weighted normals, but it just asked to fit it with decals. So yeah, I started putting these kind of things, There is some of experimentation anyway, but I think that not too much as other parts.
It's like most things, you go nuts when you first find it, and then you start. No, we'll just use little bits.
Yeah. You start adding lots of things. This one is one of the final ones. I really liked this, so it's like, like a hole or something.
Yeah.
In the metal that looks quite elegant, maybe. Useless, but elegant. These screws are not there. I mean, in the final one that I have at the moment. I was just trying, but then I realized that no screws will be in that position. So I just delete it. I just added something else that is some kind of I don't know how to say this, like ventilation things. 3 rows of square height information.
Okay, like the grills or the vents.
Yeah, something like this.
Okay.
But yeah.
By this he meant. Yes.
The microphone.
Yes.
The top. Yes. I think that will make explode the ears of the people.
Yeah, I just made a really loud noise for them.
Okay.
Sorry.
And something that we have not seen in the video is the grip, the wood thing. It was really nice to make.
Cool.
With different layers and things like that. That wood looks pretty nice.
Yeah. The Sweet Henrik says, I got Linda's first like on ArtStation. Success.
Oh yeah, okay. I leave you another one, don't worry. Yeah, and
Yeah, by the time we finish this project, you guys are going to be famous with all the streaming and the...
I don't know.
Yep, we just got to get that 1,000 followers, and then we're set.
1,000.
1,000, yeah.
1,000. Wow.
That I think it was Anna Carolina did it in 8 weeks with her stream. Now we've already going more than 8 weeks, and we've got about 54.
Yeah.
But one of the things she does do is she just does it all day.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think there's always something for people to watch, always something to follow.
You could make some gameplays at night from home, for example.
I was thinking that I actually had I streamed a game of not Fortnite. What was the other one? PUBG.
Oh yeah.
Which was quite funny. And Margaret played Fortnite in here.
Yeah.
So the Sweet Henrik says 1,000. That's not much. Not that hard to get. Look, the Sweet Henrik, if you can help us get 1,000, we'd be really happy. Help us be famous, then our likes will be worth more on your ArtStation.
I think this is the top. This is not the one that I finally made. But
Okay.
I can't remember if it was recorded or not. I think this is the one. It's like crevice or something like that. It's 3 of them. And
Yeah.
it looked right.
It does look like a vent of
Yes, I don't know. It's like metal
shutters
shape,
or
typical metal shapes. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, it looked nice because of the lighting and how lighting reacts with a normal map. So I really like this one, and I think I kept this one. Yeah. I was experimenting more in here, but finally I did not leave those in there.
yeah.
What I did is, that's in the concept, it's like making a cross, like it's for me, and this is okay. something like that in a
Okay.
cross shape. It looks very nice because of this cylinder. This cylinder is not exactly a cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
It starts like a cylinder, but then makes something like this. So it's like straight.
Okay.
So putting this kind of decals resulted in something really interesting because of the shape of the model. So yeah, and anyway, this isn't the concept. So I just, in that case, I just followed the concept, and it
Okay.
looks nice.
So the Sui Henrik says regular longer streams will make you grow much faster.
Hmm.
Okay, there we are. You're committed.
Okay, then
But yeah, no, we do have to share that load around. Certainly, I think some of Lincoln's stuff, in particular, doing that concept art and just the way he goes about it, I think long streams on that would just be
yeah.
fantastic.
But Lincoln loves to record the ceiling.
Yeah, he doesn't like being on camera himself, and I understand that. You don't want to find yourself picking your nose or
Yeah, forgetting that the camera
yeah,
is in
forgetting
front
the
of you.
camera's on you. Yeah. Scratching yourself in odd places or whatever.
That's what you did, isn't it?
It is.
While scratching
During-
yourself.
During my
so-
PUBG thing, I was having a break between games, and I got up and rearranged myself, completely forgetting the camera's still recording.
Okay, because scratching, you depending on the place you scratch, you have to make it on purpose. You know what I mean? Depending if it's the copper member.
I don't think people realise all the dangers of actually streaming.
Yeah.
Although if you watch enough YouTube Twitch fails, you'll see
Yeah.
pretty much everything that can go wrong.
Oh, the FBI romping. Have you watched these ones? The FBI going
No.
to some people's homes. Not the FBI, the SWAT.
Oh, SWAT.
Yeah, the SWAT. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay, that's. It's funny now, but no, never do that.
Would be a laugh to watch you play PUBG. I will do it again shortly. I just need an upgrade of internet at home. Otherwise, I've got to come in here to play. I'm not on fibre. There was no fibre when I moved in, so
You're not on
I'm
fire?
not on fibre.
Okay.
I'm on, I don't know, XDSL or something. So it's pretty rubbish for trying to stream and play at the same time.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of this.
Yeah, but the fibre comes right to my house now, so I just need to actually pay them to put it on.
Oh yeah. We were waiting for the fiber as well, like months ago.
Yeah. So the Sweet Henrik says, I got fibre, couldn't live without it. Yes, I had fibre previously at a previous place, so it's been a real pain in the backside not having it.
Or you have ADSL now.
XDSL.
XDSL.
So, yeah, so I'm not sure what... That's just when they don't tell you what the letter at the front is, I think. But it is fast enough to do Netflix and to play PUBG, but it's not fast enough to play PUBG and stream. So it
Yeah.
starts to get choppy then.
I'm using polygon fill tool here because this part is slightly different to the metal, to the rest of the metal.
Mm-hmm.
It's more plasticky, not exactly plastic, but looks like something more glossy
Yeah.
plastic. So I just start with something very white and blue.
Okay. So the Sweet Henrik says, got down to top 400 in EY on PUBG at some point. All right. I'm completely rubbish at playing PUBG yet, but I do intend to, chronicle myself learning. I'll film it.
And we should have to play Quake 3 again, like the old, remember the
Yeah,
last
that was
time?
fun. That was fun. We should definitely stream that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good old times.
No, I started that match never having killed anybody. That the day we streamed. So I'd never killed anybody, and by the end of the day, I'd killed 4 people. Unfortunately, 3 were teammates.
And the other one was a chicken.
No, the other one was for real.
Okay.
I got him going upstairs. Bang! It felt so good. But I'm a long way from getting a chicken dinner, I think.
It's a beginning. So
Yeah.
Now we are doing the black hole,
Mm-hmm.
completely pitch black. It's where the bullet,
Man, where the grenades come out.
yeah, the grenade, exactly, not the bullet. Well, it's a big bullet, but
Big exploding
it's a
bullet.
big explosion. So I'm taking advantage of the polygon field because I have some geometry in there that
Mhm.
just gives me the correct shape of the thing.
Yep.
So it's much
Much
faster.
easier than
It's
filling.
than the
Making
windows.
the surround yourself and then filling it.
Exactly. That not using just a paint mask, but a polygon fill mask. So this is the beginning, so I can differentiate between one thing and the other. I'm using a completely occlusion information because I don't want
That
to
was
get
nice that you did around the edge there, because that straight away made it look like a hole rather than a back.
Yeah. I even added some more blending using some blur around and painting a little bit so that you can see when you shoot something, it's like seeing the gunpowder or
Mhm.
something like that in the middle of the walls. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
So it's like a very, very pitch black thing.
What the fuck? The Sweet Henrik says the first 3 hours of playing PUBG he got 2 wins with his mate. That's just not right.
No.
I've wasted my first 3 hours playing for about a minute or 2 minutes before somebody took me out.
So yeah, I'm just playing with some histogram position, blur,
Mm-hmm.
and more black hole. Yes. I think that the black hole was the most interesting part after the copper member.
Mm-hmm. Copper member. Right.
So yeah, I think that I am adding here the black, just blending like some kind of gunpowder or something. It's,
Yeah.
as you can see, it's more blended now.
So yeah, it's bound to make a mess at the front as these things
Yeah, and more blur.
fire. Yeah.
So now it looks like something, the abyss. So yeah, it's just faking it. That's the point of this.
Yep. I have a lot of hours playing shooter games. A lot. Says the Sweet Henrik. Me too. That was really sad.
Me too as well. It's from the 90s. So
Yeah.
with the old Quakes and Doom. But yeah.
Mind you, in shooter games, I've always been more of a sniper than the guy that races out. And,
More camper. We tend
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say camper. This
Yeah.
kind of people only just standing in one position waiting for,
Yep.
I think I'm opening here the grenade launcher because I wanted to make a small change in the front part.
Mm-hmm.
But I tried first. I didn't like because of the the width and normal information, the vertex normal in this case. So I just leave it as it was. But I wanted to try it first.
Yeah.
But it was
So the
fine.
Sweet Henrik says I have over 2,000 hours on Counter Strike. Holy fuck.
Counter Strike, yeah. Counter Strike.
We are not worthy.
Counter Strike is for kids. This is fine, but but a Quake 3 match or Unreal Tournament match is where you are measuring your balls with the others. Basically.
Well, there we
Counter
are.
Strike is fine. It's fine. I'm just kidding.
We'll have to challenge you somewhere sometime. We'll have to play both Quake and Counter Strike.
That's it.
And stream it.
and stream it.
So did you end up doing anything here, or just?
No, and just this was the final thing for the whole. I just did it. I didn't change anything in there, so I just closed Maya. This is just something a decal I wanted to try, but didn't put it at the end.
Okay.
So yes, something now it's completely black, but it's not so black. Maybe because of the TV, it looks more black, but yeah. Anyway, after this, just started with something with all the rest of the things. I think that Substance just crashed in here.
All right.
Yeah.
So interesting finish to the stream.
Yeah. This is from this.
Oh, man,
This is
okay.
from this morning. I just wanted 5 minutes of this.
Just wanted to get the
yeah.
text on there.
So this is the almost finished. I'm working with Unreal to know exactly if I need to tweak anything else. As we can see, that there is more detail in the back of the cylinders.
Yeah.
That's something that you could just put the grenade in.
Yeah.
in there.
Some etching on the barrel, on the stock.
Yes, there are
And,
lots of small scratches in the surface.
The name of the thing, the Blundervolver, which was
Blunderwaller. The serial number. There are 2 serial numbers, one in the left or in the right.
yeah.
The same serial number, but in different positions. And this is in fact this is the final texture.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still tweaking because I'm implementing into Unreal, so I want to make sure everything looks like I want it to make it look. This is with another background, greenish background. This is with another one in a bus station.